Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, middleweights, and for me, the biggest fight of the year so far, it has to be your boy Canelo Cinnamon Alvarez versus Danny Jacobs, right? A fight that I didn't think was going to happen anytime soon because I told you I complain about fans and don't want the fight to happen. But Canelo signed a big deal for the zone, and now we're getting unification fights in the middleweight division. I love this fight because it's going to happen. We want to have that Canelo versus Gennady Golovkin trilogy. If Canelo comes through that fight, then Gennady Golovkin is going to have to fight somebody in between to earn that trilogy fight, right? Be it whoever. If he signs with the zone, then it's going to have to be Demetrius Andrade or something like that. So that's kind of good. Now, up to the fight, there's really nothing new. I've said in my last video about this, and I pretty much said everything. Danny Jacobs is up against it here. We know it because of the scoring with Canelo Alvarez. So, there's been a few jabs here and there. But these guys are respectful. They respect each other's talent. They know that this is going to be a hard fight. So it's respect first and foremost when they talk about each other. And then, of course, they're fighters. So you would see things like this, like Canelo has said, if he's worried about the judging in this fight, then he's already lost the fight. My argument against that is of who wouldn't fight Canelo and wouldn't be worried about the judging, right? They're just only going by what has happened, right? And I don't have to really list it again, but I will. Lara fight, controversial. Austin Trout fight, controversial. Gennady Golovkin, both of them, controversial. Arguably here and there. And we can go on to the fighters that were a lot lighter than him. And all those little things. The scoring, somebody scored his fight a draw with Floyd Mayweather. Guys, really? And those kind of scorings and stuff like that. So anybody who's done their homework that's going to fight Canelo would have issues of scoring, especially in Vegas. So that's just normal. That's not like he's Dan Jacobs looking for a cop-out. He should be worried about that. And like I said in other videos, he shouldn't have to come in the fight thinking I have to do all this ridiculous stuff. I just got to beat the guy. That's what would be fair. But we all accept the fact, well, you better do something extra to go to Canelo. You can't get no decision against Canelo. We accept that. And the judges can sit down there and do what they want to do and go home with a check without having to justify themselves. That's my issue. But as far as the fight goes, I think it's going to be a good fight. The press conference was good. Canelo's looked a little taller than normal. Some people are thinking he might have had something in his shoes and things like that. But other than that, it's going to be a good fight. Now, Jacobs was saying, he feels, similar to me, he feels that Canelo lost both of those fights against Gennady Golovkin. Close, but he feels that Canelo lost. I don't feel that Canelo lost both fights. I feel he lost the first one without a doubt. And the second one, I think he could have possibly gotten a draw. But I will never waver from this. Canelo didn't do enough, even in the second fight, for the titles to change hands. The reason why that happened is, first of all, it's Canelo. Second of all, the narrative before the fight, coming from Gennady Golovkin. Abel Sanchez has a problem, the trainer of Gennady Golovkin, by saying, hey, we want him to do Mexican style, which doesn't exist. But what he means by that is you stand in front of Gennady Golovkin instead of moving, and you don't have a chance. Canelo came in and did just that. Because of that, a lot of people are like, well, see, he's standing in front of you. You still didn't do nothing. I think Canelo was awesome in both fights. I won't say his defense in the first one. I'm repeating myself, but I'm just making sure that people know that. Canelo's defense in the first one was absolutely awesome, but he didn't win the fight. And Canelo coming in and walking straight at Gennady Golovkin, where we haven't seen nobody. A little bit Jacobs done that too, but Canelo staying there, right there in the pocket with him the whole fight was awesome. But he didn't do enough for the titles to change hands. The champion here is Gennady Golovkin, and I, from the old school, I think it's old school, but actually it's just School of Justice. The champion is that. He's the champion. So you got to come in here and do something for the titles to change hands. And so that's what I felt about those fights. I think Canelo did well in the fights, but Gennady Golovkin was the champion, so he should have won the first one for sure. And that one should have been close, but not that close. Golovkin won that one. And the second one was arguably, if you want to give it a draw, then the titles don't change hands. So I think that Danny Jacobs has a point there. I think that Danny Jacobs beat Gennady Golovkin by a point as well, but he didn't get that match. Right? I mean, people acting like, Canelo was the first one that made Gennady Golovkin look mortal. Well, if you're talking about the first one, we'll go way back to the little bitty old Kell Brook. But after Kell Brook, then Dan Jacobs made him look very mortal. You know what I mean? But anyway, the fight, Canelo versus Danny Jacobs, is going to be things going up to the lead up. Like I told you, they're respectful of each other. And I think that's really good because they're both elite athletes, elite boxers. This is going to be a very good fight. I'm glad that both of them took it. I think for me, it's the biggest fight of the year so far. I know the heavyweights are there, but the heavyweights are not handling their business, and the heavyweights are about to turn into a circus again. These guys here in the middleweight division, that's where it's going to be at in a minute. Let's see what Gennady Golovkin does if he's going to accept the fight against Demetrius Andrade, because we see he's not going to go with Charlo. Let's see what's up with that situation too. Canelo Alvarez versus Danny Jacobs on May the 4th. Going to be a barn burner. Doma Sports Talk. Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.